Hello and welcome. My name is Lucas Lechuga, and I'm your host of MiamiRealEstate.tv. Today I'm here on Brickell Key, and as you can see behind me, I'm here at the new sales gallery for the residences at the Mandarin Oriental, Miami. And in a bit, I'm going to be meeting up with in-house sales executive Adrian Gonzalez, who's going to give us a rundown of this one-of-a-kind project. So let's head inside and get a grand tour of this amazing showroom. Well, Adrian, welcome back to the show.
Of course, thank you. I appreciate you guys coming, man. Excited to have you here.
Yeah, the last time I was here, you guys didn't have this amazing sales gallery, so I'm sure this has been a game changer for your sales because everything turned out really nicely.
100%. We delivered this in October of last year.
Yeah, I was here for the grand opening.
Yeah, you're here for the grand opening. So now it's a completely different thing. Now you can actually come, touch and feel, see the finishes, see the beautiful views, as you can tell. And honestly, it practically sells itself now at this point.
So for the audience at home that didn't catch the first video, why don't you give us a rundown of the project and number of units, floors, all that?
Sure. So basically what we're doing is we're building on the last piece of land left on Brickell Key, right? We're on the south tip of the island where you're essentially on about 5 acres of land with water on 3 sides. We're building 2 towers. You have the residential tower, which is the taller tower behind us. And then the smaller tower is going to be the hotel tower, which also has a mixture of some residential units as well. The one that we actually have for sale at the moment is the taller residential tower. Okay. It's 66 stories, but only 228 residences, which is fantastic, as you know, because it's not a lot of units for this size of a building.
And you have, I believe you have like 4 different site plans, like what you guys call collections?
Yeah, so we have 4 different collections. Basically, the first collections runs from the 5th floor to the 36th, where you have about 5 units per floor. You go to the second collection, it'll become 4 units per floor. You go to the third collection, it'll become 3 units per floor. And you go to the fourth collection, it'll become 2 units per floor. So the higher we go up into the building, the less units per floor because the units will get larger and larger. And the smallest unit is about 2,333 square feet.
Wow,
and
so
it goes
all huge.
All big, and it goes up to about 5,800 square feet.
5,800 for the penthouses?
No, for like a big 5-bedroom.
Oh, for a big 5-bedroom, okay.
Anything bigger than that, then we look at the
10,000 plus? Or
the 5 bedrooms are 5,800 square feet. The penthouse, we basically have either one very big penthouse, the entire top 2 floors of the building, which is roughly about 17,000 square feet with like 8,000 square feet of terrace, or we'll cut it in half and we'll make 2 separate penthouses. We're kind of waiting to figure out how we want to design it. We would love to sell it all as one very big penthouse if the right buyer comes along. If not, then we'll split it up and we'll sell them as 2 separate ones.
So so the smallest unit you said is a 2-bedroom?
2-bedroom, 2.5 bath.
Okay, and what do those run for? What
those are starting right now about 5 million.
5 million.
About 5 million. But they have about 2,300 square feet and about a little over 1,300 square feet of terrace.
Wow.
The terrace is very big.
And how about the 3 bedrooms? What are those price ranges?
3 bedrooms, as of now, they're probably starting around 6 million. And they'll run up to about 9.5 million, depending on the size. Because what I do have the most of are 3-bedroom floor plans, but they range from smallest being about 2,650 square feet up to about 3,900 square feet for a 3-bedroom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell me about the actual interior of the units. Like, what are the ceiling heights for those units?
So here we have high ceilings, which is fantastic. We actually have slab to slab about 11 feet.
What do you have here in the showroom?
This is actually a little bit shorter. I believe this is about 10.4, if I'm not mistaken. So this, if you notice, when you walk in here, it's gonna feel tall, especially when we go into the model, but it's actually gonna be a little bit higher than this, which is fantastic. It's gonna make the spaces even bigger, feel even bigger than they already are.
Yeah, and it brings in a lot more natural sunlight. And given that the building's on the southern tip of Brickell Key, you already get a lot of natural sunlight.
Yeah, we actually positioned the building facing southeast.
Okay.
So you know how typically, at least in Edgewater, downtown Brickell, the southeast corner tends to be kind of like the prime corner, right? So as opposed to having that, we just face the entire building essentially southeast. So you get a lot of that beautiful natural sunlight in almost all of our units.
Okay. Yeah. And tell me about the developer and also the architect.
So the developer here is Swire Properties, which is one of the most
built the entire island pretty much.
Yeah, one of the most reputable developers we have here. They did the entire island essentially, with the exception of 3 buildings. They did Brickell City Center, right? They're one of the 200 largest companies in the world. So very, very strong developers with a great reputation, which is always one of the most important pieces, as you know, whenever you're looking at new construction. the developer is the number one most important piece.
Heavily funded. That's really important, especially these days.
Yeah.
So you know the developer is going to move forward with the project.
Exactly. Heavily funded developer. You know that this is going forward, and sales have gone very well. So we really have no complaints here. It's a beautiful project to sell in a beautiful city and in a beautiful location. So.
Yeah, and this piece of land has been sitting empty for so long, and a lot of people in Brickell Key have been waiting for this moment to find out what's going to happen here. I mean, there's been talk about the Mandarin residences coming here for, I've been hearing about it for at least 15 years. So it's finally here. And I'm sure a lot of your buyers are probably from the Key itself, correct?
Correct. We do have quite a few buyers from the Key. What we've noticed is that usually when people move to the Key, they hardly leave the Key. Because this kind of private island style of living, but while also having the connection to Brickell at the same time, this is the only place you can find it when you talk about South Florida. It's the only island of its kind like this. So a lot of the buyers, we didn't really think that potentially they were going to be our buyers here, the ones from the island, just because there was a big difference in price points.
True.
Right? But what we've learned is a lot of the people actually had the potential to buy anything in Brickell or anything in Miami, but they just don't leave the island because they love the island. So a lot of them, like you, have heard about this project for like the last 10 years. We knew it was going to come, just a matter of timing of when the developer was going to launch it. And once it did launch, you know, a lot of them decided to make purchases here. And once this is building and is done, they'll go ahead and make their transition to this one.
The thing I love about the Key is that it's like its own little neighborhood, has a dry cleaner and restaurants and market, and also it's very family oriented. There's a children's playground in the heart of the island, and also the bay walk around the island.
100%. So. The bay walk is nice. It's such a great amenity for not just for Brickell Key, but for Brickell. I mean, where else can you go for like a 1.4 mile walk while enjoying the beautiful views? You occasionally see manatees and dolphins and things like that, and it's really something special. It's really something special. It's designed so you don't actually have to leave the island if you don't want to. But if you do, you have one of the city's best amenities in Brickell in about a 5-7 minute walk away.
For sure. So, just on my drive over here, just going over the Brickell Bridge, seeing tons of joggers and just people walking and strollers and all that stuff. So it's
100%.
It's really
100%.
cool. Really cool thing to see.
The new hotel that we're going to be building is going to be really important for the island, since we're kind of talking about the island. The new hotel that we're going to be doing is actually going to become the new flagship hotel for the Mandarin Oriental for North America. Okay. So there's a lot of importance being placed on this hotel, not just from us, but also from the brand's perspective, which is great. So it's a complete kind of elevation. It's going to be a little bit more boutique because it is only going to be 121 rooms, right? The one that we have now is a little bit over 340 rooms. So you're cutting it about half, making it more boutique with more exclusivity and a lot more amenities, I would say.
Okay, so two questions that came to mind. One, when is the current building going to be demolished?
Yeah, so we're actually closing the hotel at the end of next month, at the end of May. So I don't know when this will show, but at the end of May this year,
probably beginning of May. But
so at the end of May, we're actually closing the hotel. Okay. The idea is to then start preparing it for what would take place as the knocking down demolition of the hotel, which that's estimated for around Q1, Q2 next year is our current estimation as of today, right? That's why the delivery for this project is estimated for 2030 at the moment, because it is a large project. So we do anticipate probably about a 4-year build essentially.
And why don't you tell me about the amenities, not only the amenities, but which amenities are exclusive to the resident, like the residential building, and which ones are shared with the hotel? Yeah,
so it's nice because we do have 2 towers here. They're interconnected with these amazing podium spaces, but they're also separate at the same time. So for example, you would have access to 6 different pools. The residential tower, the taller one, actually has 3 pools in itself. The hotel tower has another 3 pools in itself. If you want, we can get up and I can kind of show you where they're kind of located. So yeah, Lucas, if you want, I'll kind of show you how the amenities are kind of located on the building.
Perfect.
So the nice thing about the dynamic, like I was mentioning, is that the residential tower actually has its own private amenities that are exclusive only to this building, right? But if you live here, you also have access to all of the amenities of the hotel. Okay. So it gives you the best of both worlds without giving up your privacy. which, as you know, is very unique in Miami because typically all of this is mixed into the same tower.
Yeah.
Right. So you kind of lose some of the privacy, some of the exclusivity.
Yep.
Here you keep it while having access to both sets, which is fantastic. To give you an idea, there's actually over 100,000 square feet of amenities.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an
massive.
insane amount of amenities.
Yeah.
You would have access to 6 different main pools, 3 pools for this tower, and another 3 pools for the hotel.
And what's nice is this is like the sunrise side, and that's the sunset side.
Exactly, that's what I was about to mention. So we actually located pools, one on each side of the property, so that way we make sure we always had sun.
Okay.
So for example, this is gonna be your sunrise pool, which we call a lagoon pool. This is gonna be kind of like your mid-afternoon pool, which is our ocean pool. And then if we walk over to the west side, you're gonna actually notice a third pool right over here, which is our wellness pool. So you have one on each side of the property, so you always have sun. And then these 2 pools right here are gonna be on the hotel side. And then there's also an indoor lap pool for people that love to swim.
Oh, nice.
Which you also have views out towards the water because this is all glass. So every single pool has views towards the water. You're gonna have sun all times of the day, just a matter of which pool you wanna be at. And there's also a lot of beautiful, lush landscaping, as you can tell from the
I noticed
model.
that,
Yeah. We're actually bringing one of the, in my opinion, one of the best landscape designers in the world called Shama Design. They come from Thailand. We're actually bringing them down here to South Florida for the very first time. They actually have over 100 different species of plants incorporated into the design.
Yeah, I've seen the renderings and it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Their whole goal is to pretty much create an oasis within the oasis that is Brickell Key, right? So it's kind of connecting to nature while still being inside of your own private resort style of living. Right? Yeah.
And one thing I wanted to point out to the audience at home, so this is the bay walk here. It goes completely around the perimeter of the island. Like you mentioned, I think it's like 1.4 miles around.
1.4 miles, correct.
So it's a great place to run.
Yeah. So we're actually gonna be reconnecting the bay walk. We will be elevating the seawall a little bit higher up, which is fantastic because we don't want to have our clients to worry about that later on in the future. And the bay walk will connect all the way around the entire island.
And the property is elevated, so there's complete privacy. It's not like these people running by are going to be looking to the pool deck or anything like that.
Exactly. So actually our lobby is actually elevated above the bay walk. So even the lobby level is not at the same level. So that way we keep the privacy, and then all the amenities are actually on floors 4 and 5. So 2 levels of amenities here. But just very, very expansive.
How does parking work? Is it valet only for both towers, or is it
So it depends on the specific unit that we're talking about. So for example, the parking is separate for the both towers. For this one, it's a mixture between valet and assigned plus valet. Right. So for example,
like the smaller units have valet?
The minimum is 2 valet. That's the minimum for my smallest units. Some of my 3 bedrooms will also come with 2 assigned plus a valet. So it's just a matter of which unit we're looking at. So we do have a mixture of both, and that was kind of the best way to accommodate it for the tower, because we didn't want to turn in any units without the ability to park at least 2 vehicles. So having a mixture between valet and assigned was the only way to kind of make that happen.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And the hotel is valet only.
Hotel is going to be valet only. Whenever we do launch the residences that are going to be in the hotel, that will be valet only. One thing that's important to note as well, Lucas, is that we will have 3 restaurants. All 3 restaurants will be located in the hotel tower, right? The full restaurants. The reason is because we didn't want to take away from the privacy and exclusivity of the residential tower. That's why we put all 3 in the hotel tower. But we do have a great pool lounge that's actually coming off of the main pool, which will be manned by the hotel, where you can go down, order some drinks and snacks, and that way you don't actually have to leave the building if you didn't want to order a bite to eat or get something to drink. But the full-blown restaurants will be located in the hotel, just so that way we don't take away from the privacy here. And as I'm sure you know, Mandarin Oriental has a great track record of introducing some of the best restaurants in the world. So we do expect to have a Michelin star chef in one of these restaurants. They haven't determined which ones we're going to be bringing in just yet, because that's a question that I get pretty often. Also I get questioned pretty often about Lamar, the restaurant that's here at the hotel now. They are, I do believe they're relocating somewhere else in the interim throughout the construction of this building.
Brickell, or?
I'm not sure. I believe it's in Brickell, but I'm not 100% sure of the exact location. But it's a great restaurant. We don't know if they're going to be coming back or not. It's just a little bit far out right now to tell. But
you mentioned 2030, right? Is when
2030. 2030 is what we're talking about. So it's about 5 years out from.
So maybe that'll be their second restaurant if they come back.
Exactly.
So how about fitness?
So fitness, you actually have your own fitness center For the residential tower, you have your own sauna, steam room, hammam. You have a multi-sports court, which is basketball, pickleball, paddle, movie screening room, golf simulator, the whole 9 yards. Think of everything that you can think of, you have it here. But you also have access to the set in the hotel. So the hotel also has its own fitness center, spa, and whatnot, right? So you actually get double of some amenities. And having the hotel separate is really a great feature, because whenever a lot of our residents, at least the people that have bought, they love it, because when people come to visit them, they don't actually have to keep them inside of their space, right? You actually have somewhere where you can put your guests up inside of the hotel, where you're connected, but not connected all the time, right? You kind of hang out whenever you like.
I'll meet you at the hotel pool.
Meet you at the hotel pool. They have their own privacy. You keep your own privacy at the same time. So it's a feature that a lot of our clients really, really love.
And how about services? Like, are the restaurants going to be catering to the building?
Yes.
I'm guessing there's going to be food and beverage service at the hotel.
So for food and beverage service at the hotel, you'll be able to order food from the restaurants in the hotel, have it delivered directly to your residence if you like, or you can have it over at the pool bar, which is down by the main pool as well. So the idea is to give you access to all of the different services in the hotel as well as in the residences, but also keeping your privacy at the same time in the residential tower. So that's one of the things that kind of makes it really unique, because normally everything is kind of mixed together.
Where's the pool bar located?
So it's actually right over here.
Oh, so it's on the residential side.
On the residential side. So right here is actually going to be our pool lounge.
So that's exclusive to this tower?
Exclusive only to this tower. Exactly.
And the hotel has their own separate bar?
The hotel has their own separate bar. So they actually have a restaurant on the same level as the pool deck over there as well.
Got it.
Right. If we talk about the residences real quick, just to kind of point out a couple features. Private elevators for every unit, as you would expect in something like this. Assigned storages with every single residence as well, which is also great.
On the same floor?
Most of them are on the same floor. The vast majority of them are on the same level as your unit, and they're climate controlled, so they have AC and whatnot, which is great. Terraces, I was mentioning, very big terraces. Average size of a terrace here is about 1,000 square feet.
Wow.
Some of them will get as big as 2,800 square feet.
I know it probably differs, but like, how deep would you say? Like,
yeah, so it ranges, but the average is going to be about 12 feet. But some of them will get as deep as 18 feet, depending on the specific unit that we're talking about. But they're very, very large. And they're designed with these really cool outdoor bars that have a little beverage cooler in the sink, something for like outdoor entertainment, essentially. It's really designed to be kind of like an extension of your living room, right? On the outdoor space. And then one other thing that I can kind of point out here, just the fact that we are on the tip of the island, it's very rare to be able to say that not only does pretty much every unit here have water views, but also pretty much every bedroom within every unit has water views.
Wow.
Right, and that's very rare to say.
Yeah, that is rare.
Most of the time, your master bedroom has the best views towards the water, and your secondaries face the city or whatever it is. Here, there's no complaints. Your children are all going to have great views, regardless of which unit that they look at.
So why don't you tell me about the trophy penthouse at the top?
Yeah. So the trophy penthouse is pretty much, I would say we have an estimated floor plan, but it's we're open to customizations.
So you said 17,000 if somebody were to take the entire
combined. So it's the top 2 floors of the building. These are the only 2-story units in the building. Everything else is 1 stories. So the ceiling heights are naturally higher. They have private pools up there. You have a main kitchen, chef's kitchen. They're pretty much the crown jewel of what I would say of Brickell is what this is going to be.
How high are those ceilings? 12?
Well, 12 on the secondary floor. In the double height ceiling area, I believe it's about 24 feet.
Wow.
I have to confirm because they're still kind of fine tuning it a little bit, but I believe it's about 24 feet. Price point, the entire top 2 floors would be about 100 million. And you cut it in half, it'll be about 50 million.
Got it.
That's the price.
Nice. And how about the services of the building itself? Full service concierge, I'm guessing everything?
Full service concierge, as you can imagine. If you need housekeeping here, you can have housekeeping done, come up and clean your unit. You know, you need somebody to water your plants, you can have somebody water your plants, you know, pretty much full scale. And when you do buy inside of a residences at Mandarin Oriental project like this, you actually become also part of what's called like Elite Ambassadors program that they offer with the brand, which actually gives you like special perks and privileges in any Mandarin Oriental that you stay in around the world. So we're actually able to kind of negotiate something with the brand to where our clients can start utilizing those perks 30 days after signing their contracts, which is fantastic. Yeah.
Okay, what I'm really excited about taking a look at is the model residence you have here with, because I want to take a look at the finishes.
Yeah, for sure.
Why don't we take a look at that?
Yeah.
Wow, this is gorgeous.
So welcome. This is our beautiful showroom. Kitchens, we didn't even get to touch base on this over there at the model, but these are custom designed kitchens by our interior designer, Tristan Auer, who's one of the top designers in the world, but actually being built and manufactured by Molteni, the Italian brand, which is one of the legendary kitchen brands. These are more like single family home kitchens placed inside of a condo residence. That's why when we kind of talk about the units, we kind of always talk about them as almost homes in the sky, because they're very large units with large terraces. And basically it's like having a home in the sky on the water, also with access to all of the amenities and services of the Mandarin. So these are Molteni kitchens. Envision that this is actually a vignette. So like a smaller version of our kitchens. Right, and this is a good size for any Brickell apartment. This is a generously sized kitchen. But this island, for example, is only about 8 feet long. It'll actually be about 9 feet, plus there's a 5-foot breakfast table that's attached to this island. So these are gonna be very, very large kitchens. You do get 2 design options. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. So they can choose their countertops.
There's two options to pick from. It's basically like a whole theme. Like this is considered the warm option. So you have this marble here with this light cabinetry. There's another option which is called the cool option, where this is a little bit more of a grayer tone with a little bit darker cabinetry. So those are the 2 options that we kind of give clients to pick from. All the appliances are going to be Gaggenau appliances, as you would expect here, right? So you do have your wine cooler down here. You have your coffee maker, microwave steamer, conventional oven. Cooktop is induction. You do have the hood kind of hidden back here, which is nice to have it hidden so it's not out. It does extract the smoke and send it out to outside of the building, which is nice. As you know, a lot of times it's just a filter, just circulates inside. Here it actually does extract and actually pulls out. And then right behind you here, we actually have our refrigerator and freezers. So you do have the majority of our units with these large side-by-side refrigerators and freezers, right? All Gaggenau, you know, everything top of the line, essentially. Kind of reinforcing that home in the sky, right? Now, flooring.
These open up as well?
These also open up as well. So the benefits of having the island with the breakfast table attached, it actually relocates your seating that you would typically have on an island to more comfortable seating at a regular standard height around the breakfast table. And it frees up the island completely for cooking, entertainment, and storage around the entire island, which is good. Flooring comes included. It'll be a natural stone. You actually have 4 different options to pick from. Right? Size is 24 by 48, so they're large format stones, which is fantastic. This one right here is one of the options. It's a beautiful travertine. Ceiling heights in here is about 10.4. As I'm sure you agree, this already feels high.
It does.
As it is.
And you mentioned the residences have 11?
Have slab to slab, it's about 11. After we finish the flooring, it'll be a little bit less, but it'll be a little higher than this, which is nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then this is like obviously...
so what other options of flooring? You mentioned the travertine?
You actually have 2 travertines and 2 marbles.
Got it.
2 travertines and 2 marbles. This is like a beautiful living room, right? So what I love about our units is most of my columns, which I think you'll appreciate, my structural columns are located outside on the terrace. So that way you don't have that giant concrete column in the corner of your living room like you typically have.
That's terrible.
So it gives you a lot more glass exposure, and you want to really take advantage of all of the water views that you have here. So this is like a regular living room size for like a standard corner unit in the building. But a lot of them have really, really unique floor plans. And the terrace here, for example, this is a good sized terrace that's out there. This is actually my 2-bedroom. My smallest unit actually has a larger terrace than the one that's out there right now, which is nice.
And what do you think this is, like 8 feet?
No, it gets to as deep as about 12 feet here. But I'm talking about like just a wraparound area. This is roughly, I would say, probably about 1,000 square feet.
Nice.
Of terrace right here. But it'll actually be a little bit larger than this one for the 2 bedrooms. Yeah. Whichever flooring, say your client or a client picks, goes inside, also will go outside on the terrace. So we wanted to give it a very seamless look, so it kind of just flows.
And that's more of like a matte finish, I would guess?
Yeah, something kind of texture for the outdoors, but we wanted to give it a seamless look so that way it just continues to flow, which is nice. Let me show you the closets and the bathrooms, which are right over here on this side, before we kind of transition on the outside. Now, there is a lot of attention to detail that you're gonna notice. So even things like this, you see these beautiful wood portals, you're gonna find this throughout the units. So these are these beautiful transition pieces that take you from one space to the next, as opposed to just having drywall and just a hallway, right? It's a kind of nice different touch. And if you walk with me in here, this is actually our beautiful master bedroom closets.
Gorgeous.
So the closets inside of our primary suites come already built out.
Nice.
Which is something that's unique. You know, not all developers do that. Comes with the standard, with the cabinetry, with the lighting. There's only one thing that essentially we're not doing that you see here, and it is the herringbone wallpaper that is on the ceiling.
Okay.
That's the one thing we're not doing because we are learning that it's not everybody's style.
Okay.
Some clients like it. Some clients are like, Adrian, I'm not into herringbone. I love it for the sales gallery, but not my personal home. So we're going to do something more neutral with the ceiling, but the cove with the lighting, the cabinetry with the lighting comes standard.
Do buyers have the option to customize the look or the layout of the closet? Like if somebody wanted more, has a lot of shoes and wanted more shelving for shoes?
No, it's just gonna come standard, already kind of pre-designed by the designer. Okay. The good thing about this designer, he's very practical in his designs, which I'll kind of show you the master bathroom. So you can kind of see he's not just a beautiful designer, but he's also very practical for uses and whatnot. So what I want to show you here is a sample master suite, right? So this is a midnight bar. Okay. Right, you have a midnight bar like this inside of all of our primary bedrooms. So it has a little sub-zero refrigerator if you want to put water, set up a coffee station, kind of very hotel-like, right? But it's also a nice little elevation of luxury. Definitely. This is a standard master bedroom. Okay. Right, so I think you'll agree this is a very generous room. Right? Definitely. Yep. This is roughly about 17 by 19 feet. Okay. To give you some perspective, my smallest unit, the 2-bedroom, the master is about 15 by 19 feet. So take about 2 feet off of one side, and that's about
even for the 2 bedrooms, it's massive.
Yeah, so you do have very large units, so that's kind of ties into the homes in the sky feel where everything is very generously designed. So large living areas, large bedrooms, large terraces, high ceilings, so the whole 9 yards.
And I did notice the linear diffusers, I'm guessing throughout all the residences they have that?
You do have the linear diffusers throughout. You're not going to have touches like this, right? This is just personalized touches by the interior designer. But you know, obviously the idea is that at the end of the project, if you did want to, you know, hire Tristan Auer to help design the interior spaces of your units, that you'd make yourself available to do that separately. But yeah.
Now the master bath?
Now the master bathroom is going to be right over here. Okay. So this is kind of the entrance when you come into your master bath. What I want to show here is that you'll have like these wood portals, but also this beautiful travertine stone on the walls. Beautiful. This is a standard finish inside of all the primary bathrooms, which is great. It's another nice touch that you will even have this when you walk into your living rooms. You have this beautiful stone. Okay. So different little touches throughout that you don't typically find. This marble right here is like a piece of art that runs through the center of the bathroom. It's a Cipollino marble that comes from Greece. Your sinks are going to be made out of Taj Mahal quartzite, another beautiful stone. Fixtures are all Dornbracht. You get 2 color options. It's going to be champagne and platinum. Those are the 2 different colors. Okay. And then for the cabinetry, you also get a dark wood, which is this one here. And then you also have a light wood option as well. So there's 2 different options for the cabinetry. You do have medicine cabinetry. As you know, things tend to come back in style nowadays, and everything kind of comes back.
I rarely see those. But...
Yeah, so you have one on each side, which is nice, and they're just like little sections. Rather than open the entire mirror, it's just a little section, which is nice. And then if you walk with me over here, we do also have some units that come with a sauna. Okay, like the larger ones? The larger units. So my large 5-bedroom units actually come with a sauna like this, which is really cool because you rarely see that inside of residences, especially here in Brickell. So just because that unit was so large, we were able to design a sauna inside of it. And then this is a sample of our beautiful primary showers, really. This is like your wet room. So essentially you have your rain showers that come from the ceiling. You have this beautiful bench with the marble backsplash, right? With your little niches tucked in so you kind of hide all the products. Exactly. And then your soaking tubs will be facing towards the water. Okay. Right? So pretty much all of my soaking tubs have views out towards the water with the exception of one floor plan. Okay. So basically we're maximizing the views from not only pretty much every bedroom, but every single primary bathroom as well, right? So almost every single room we're trying to get.
And it brings in a lot of natural light.
A lot of natural light, and you still maintain the privacy because they're kind of just facing out towards the water. Okay. Obviously you don't want to be in your tub facing another building. And if you let me show you, we'll kind of walk out to the terrace because I do want to show you kind of the size of terraces, and also it'll help appreciate really just the location. Yep. So yeah, Lucas, let's go take a look at this terrace. This gives you a good look and feel for how large the terraces are here. These are really super deep extensions of your living room. Space for patio furniture, dining tables, right? And Look at these views.
And now I can see like why every bedroom has a water view. I mean, like, because the island wraps entirely around the building.
Imagine that you have water on the west side, on the south side, on the east side. Having a tower here on the tip like this, it's one of the most...
It's prime real estate.
It's prime real estate. It doesn't really get much better than this. And you kind of understand why the developer held this piece of land for last.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is the best piece of land on the island.
This is
by far.
It does make it very unique. It is one of the only projects that I say was almost impossible to replicate, just because another 5 acres on the tip of an island like this in Miami. Good luck to any developer trying to find something like this in the future. So,
for those buyers out there that are interested in purchasing a unit here at the residences at Mandarin Oriental Miami, what's the process?
So it's basically a 40% deposit structure that's spread out throughout the life of the construction, right? So it's about 10% now at contract to take a unit off the market for your client. We'll ask for another 10% in 90 days, so about 3 months. We'll ask for another 10% when we start construction, which will be next year, and then another 10% at top off, which estimated for about 2028.
And then again, you said the balance would be at closing in 2030.
60% at closing at 2030. So think about 20% this year, 10% next year, 10% 2028, balance 60% at closing.
Okay, and in closing, Adrian, so I know buyers have a lot of different projects to choose from, especially here in Miami. So what makes this project stand out from the rest?
Yeah, definitely. I know there is a lot of options, especially nowadays. This is, for me, this is the most unique property, the most unique proposition you're gonna find. 5 acres on the tip of an island with a legendary brand like the Mandarin Oriental, especially creating their flagship hotel, along with a legendary developer like Swire Properties, right? It's very rare that you have all the stars aligned to deliver something like this, of this magnitude, of such a pristine location like this. So I do think any clients that do have the opportunity to get into a project like this, I do strongly recommend it, just because you won't see something like this again in the future. This is a one of one and virtually impossible to replicate. So the timeline is a little bit stretched out, but I would say if there is one project that is worth the wait in Miami, it's this one.
I agree. Well, thank you, Adrian. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Lucas. Appreciate it.
Well, there you have it, folks. This is the opportunity you've been waiting for. If you'd like to learn more about the residences at Mandarin Oriental Miami, contact me, Lucas Lechuga, at lucas@miamicondoinvestments.com. And before you go, be sure to hit all my buttons, like, comment, and subscribe down below.